Okay, so this is to do some simple trig problems. So if we look at this question here, we're being asked to work out this side. The first thing is label the side. So here's the angle we're dealing with. Opposite to that angle is that side, so that side must be the opposite. Opposite to the right angle is the hypotenuse, so that side's the hypotenuse. And the other side that's adjacent to the angle is this side. So then we look at which two we're dealing with here. So in this question, we get told the hypotenuse, so we want to use that one. And we want to find out this side over here, which is the opposite, so we want to use that one. So we're going to use the one part of SOHCAHTOA that uses opposite and hypotenuse, which is the SO part. So we would write down sine of x is equal to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. Then we put in the numbers from the triangle that we're dealing with. So sine of 50 is equal to the opposite in this question is actually called h for height. So we'll put h for that, and then the hypotenuse is 5.2. And then if we want to work out what h is, we need to get h on its own, so we need to move away this 5.2. At the minute this 5.2 is dividing this side, so if it moves to the other side, it will change to a multiply. So that will give us 5.2 multiplied by sine 50, or the other way round, will tell us what h is. So I do that on my calculator. On this calculator I'm going to do sine 50, work out what sine 50 is, and then times it by 5.2. And that's given me an answer 3.983, so I'm going to round it to one decimal place, which should give me actually 4.0 meters for that question. Okay, for this next question, we need to work out again this h over here, which is the height. So start again by labeling the sides. There's our angle. Opposite to our angle is this side, so this is the opposite side. Opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, so that's the hypotenuse, and beside the angle is the adjacent. Which two are we going to use? We're going to use this side because we know it's 85, so we're going to use the hypotenuse, and this side that we want to find out, which is the opposite. So opposite and hypotenuse is again a sine question. So we write down sine x equals opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 36 equals h over 85. And then same as last time, to get the 85 away from this side, we need to multiply it by the other side. So 85 times by whatever sine 36 is will tell us h. So on my calculator, I'm going to do sine 36 and then times it by 85, and that gives us 49.6. So if we're going to actually round that, I'll just write out, it would give us 50 to the nearest whole number. So 50 for that one. In this next one, we've got an aeroplane's taken off, and again we have to work out the height that the airplane's at. If we label the sides, here's our angle down here, here's our right angle, so that's the hypotenuse. This side over here is the opposite, and this side will be the adjacent. We know the hypotenuse, we want to know the opposite, so again this one's another sine. So sine x equals opposite over hypotenuse, so sine 18 equals h over 850, so h will be 850 times by sine 18. So let's work out what that is. Sine 18 times 850 would be 262.7 to one decimal place, and that'll be in meters. And then this is our last example. So in this one we're being asked to work out the width of the shelf. Now the width of the shelf goes from here right the way across to there, and the triangle only goes across to there. But we know this extra bit that's sticking out is 8 centimeters, so we know that bit. So if we can work out from here to here, we'll be able to work out the whole length of the shelf. So we're going to use a triangle, and we're told that this angle in here is 50 and this bit's 25. and we want to know this bit from here to here. So I'm going to call that L. So label the side of the triangle. This is the right angle in here. So this side over here is the hypotenuse. This is the angle, so this is the opposite, and this is the adjacent. So in this one we know the hypotenuse, so we want to use hypotenuse. And we want to know this side, which is the adjacent. Now adjacent and hypotenuse is Ca. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos of the angle is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So in our case, the angle's 50, so it will be cos 50 equals L, just because I called it L, over 25. And then to work out what L is, I'm going to have to move that 25 over by multiplying it. So 25 times cos 50 equals L. So I can work out what L is. Cos 50 equals times by 25 equals 16.069. So for one decimal place, that'll be 16.1. So 16.1 centimeters. Now remember, L was just from there to there, the side of the triangle. So my final answer for W, the width of the shelf, is going to be 8 plus 16.1. So my final answer is going to be 24.1 centimeters.